Surprise, it doesn't cost much, but it is a ridiculously good smartwatch. It's so good that you may be tempted to pay more once you started using it. But enough of that. What makes the Polar M200 so good in the first place? First off, the watch is primarily a running watch. While it could also work as a smartwatch, the watch shines best when seen through the prisms of its fitness-related functions. The watch offers integrated GPS smartphone connectivity with either Android or iOS. It also has 24/7 activity tracking and optical heart monitoring. It has a pretty decent design too, and is light, secure, and comfortable. The screen is also basic, which gives the Polar M200 a deceitful look of an ordinary smartwatch. But it's not that. Aesthetically speaking, the M200 won't stand out in a lineup, but it looks and feels very durable. It will sit comfortably on your wrist for long periods, and since it just weighs about 40 grams, you can even forget that you're wearing it. The watch comes with 5 different colored straps, and you can get it in black, yellow, blue, white, or red. While the M200 may not excel when it comes to style and all that, it's up there with the best when it comes to functionality. It has a heart rate monitor that works pretty well, and the integrated GPS is pretty accurate. The watch will also automatically detect any stops and will pause the activity for you until you want to resume again. However, there is one drawback to this watch. The GPS is somewhat slow to lock on. Aside from this, the M200 is a pretty solid smartwatch, and it has a monster of a battery too. Seriously, the battery of this bad boy can last up to a week, and it is quick and easy to charge too. Number 4. Amazfit Bip. The Amazfit Bip is probably the cheapest watch on this list, but it's by no means a lightweight. While it certainly doesn't have the extent of functionality that Apple smartwatches or Samsung smartwatches have, it is one watch to consider when thinking of budget smartwatches. First off, the Bip looks suspiciously like an Apple Watch. It has an Apple-inspired design, and it has a soft silicone band that will fit around your wrist just fine. It weighs only about 31 grams, so it's even lighter than the M200. However, don't be fooled by the apparent light nature of this Bip. It's really strong, which is weird for a watch named Bip. Seriously, what's up with that? Anyway, it has a 2.5D Corning Gorilla Glass capacitive touchscreen, so it can get tossed around a lot without sustaining damage. In addition to this, it has an IP68 water and dust rating, so it's protected from dust and can be up to 5 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. Which is pretty unlikely to happen, right? Seriously, you're never going to try to test this out by submerging the watch in 5 feet of water for 30 minutes precisely to see if it works out, right? Because that wouldn't be smart, like at all. Moving on. It has a square shape and a thick black bezel surrounds the screen. As expected, it is compatible with Android and iOS, and it has the regular smartwatch features: heart rate monitors, weather updates, and all of that. It also has a haptic sensor that vibrates when messages get in, but it's very subtle so that it won't irritate you. And last but not least, the watch has a battery that can last for 45 days under regular use. Yes, exactly. It should probably take all your money. Number 3. Huawei Watch GT2e. Unlike the 2 previous watches, this watch is made by a largely recognizable global brand. Even though the Huawei has run into some trouble with American regulators in recent times, it has nothing to do with the quality of what they make. The GT2e isn't just a cheap watch, it's a solid one too. The 1.39-inch AMOLED display of the watch is quite bright and clear, and the watch comes with lots of sports profiles, including swimming and cycling. And yeah, it has up to 5 ATM water resistance, so you can take it swimming all you like. It also tracks your sleep excellently and is great for measuring running stats. It doesn't run the Google Wear OS, instead it runs the LIGHWEIGHT. The payoff for this decision is that the watch has a great battery. It can last for about 14 days. However, it isn't all good for the GT2e. For one, there's a lack of third-party plugins, so you have limited functionality in some areas. The most impressive aspect of this watch probably has to do with its workout modes. It comes with 15 of these modes, and they will help you keep track your workouts better than you could have ever hoped. Unlike the M200, the GPS of this watch is pretty accurate. It also locks on quickly, which is more than you'd expect of a watch of this price range. Number 2. TicWatch E2. The TicWatch E2 may not sound like the second best budget watch you can get in 2021, but it is. Seriously, just disregard the name and focus on the specs of the watch. First off, it has a waterproof design so you can take it swimming if you want. The watch's makers, Chinese firm Mobvi, the company that made the TicWatch, says that the watch is the ultimate fitness and swim companion. And it's difficult to disagree with that. Unlike other watches on this list, the design of the TicWatch E2 focuses on function rather than fashion. Underneath the watch lies the heart monitor and a central bump that fits snugly against your wrist. The watch is pretty light too and weighs only about 32 grams. It comes with a Snapdragon 2100 chipset, which means it's one of the fastest budget watches to ever hit the market. The increased performance of the watch means you can skip through menus, check readings, and perform lots of different tasks with incredible ease. Amazingly, the TicWatch can do all this despite having just about 512 megabytes of RAM. Like with most smartwatches, the TicWatch comes with 4 gigabytes of storage, so there's enough space for you to download lots of apps and music tracks. The GPS on the TicWatch is of the highest performance, and it will not take long to connect properly. However, there are some things you've got to note about TicWatch. First off, even though it can be used with Apple devices, it will feel sort of plain and bare. However, since it's way cheaper than the Apple Watch, it's a reasonable trade-off. Additionally, it doesn't have the most in-depth fitness data like other high-end smartwatches may provide. So if you're used to watches like this may feel like a downgrade. But for its price range, the TicWatch is amazing. Number 1. Samsung Galaxy Watch Active. You probably didn't expect to see a brand like Samsung in this video, but what can we say? Stranger things have happened. Right now, the watch retails at about $150 on Amazon. So yeah, it fits right into what we call budget smartwatches. And since it's a Samsung watch, you know that it's bringing missiles to a pillow fight. Despite being a first-gen watch, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active remains one of the best budget smartwatches for Androids. First off, it has a smooth and elegant design. Secondly, it's significantly faster than all other watches that run on Google's Wear OS platform. The software on the Galaxy Active is also easier to use. However, there's just one downside to the Galaxy Active. The thing is that the watch doesn't have many well-known apps, especially compared to the Apple Watch. Thankfully, even though these apps aren't well known, they'll have amazing functionality. That means they are more than capable of offering a smooth user experience. There are too many smartwatches that offer great functionality, but back it up with a terrible battery. This watch isn't one of those watches because it has a powerful battery. How strong? Well, it can last about 2.5 days on full charge.